Hi, I'm Balaji, and today we're going to talk about how Americans have become the new immigrants. For almost a century, the United States has been the world's gravity well. It was the place everyone was trying to get into. But a recent landmark report by the Wall Street Journal has revealed a shift so profound it feels like a glitch in the simulation. In 2025, for the first time since the height of the Great Depression in 1935, the United States experienced a net negative migration. More people left the country than moved in. Let that sink in. We aren't just talking about a slowdown in immigration, we're talking about a mass departure. The Brookings Institute estimates a net loss of 150,000 people last year alone, and the projections for 2026 are even steeper. While the official government line points to policy changes and visa restrictions, the journal uncovered a much more uncomfortable truth. It's the citizens who are leading the charge. Estimates now suggest between 4 and 9 million Americans are living abroad. This isn't just a handful of retirees in Mexico. It is a fundamental reevaluation of the American dream. Today we're going to look at the numbers, the motives, and the reality of what happens when the world's most powerful passport starts being used as an exit ramp. The country-by-country data is quite frankly staggering. In nearly all 27 member states of the European Union, the number of Americans arriving to live and work is hitting record highs. In Portugal, the American population has jumped 500% since the pandemic. In Spain and the Netherlands, the numbers have doubled in the last decade. Here's the one that really tells the story. There are now more Americans living in Norway than Norwegians living in America. Historically, migration followed the money. You moved to where the currency was strongest. But in 2025, the US dollar actually weakened against the euro, making Europe more expensive for Americans. And yet, the influx accelerated. This tells us that the American exodus isn't just a cost of living hack, it's a values-based migration. People are choosing to pay more, or at least accept less stuff, in exchange for systems that work. The journal report breaks the biggest myth of the expat world, that this is only for 20-something digital nomads working on laptops in Lisbon cafes. The new wave of migrants includes midwestern small business owners, architects, and engineers. We're seeing middle-aged professionals starting over after life changes, or people on disability stretching their benefits in places where the money actually covers their medicine. But the most significant shift is the families. Relocation companies and international schools are reporting a massive surge in American enrollment. One school in Barcelona saw its student body double in just 2 years. We're seeing families from heartland states, Utah, Texas, Colorado, Kentucky, moving their children across the globe. Why? One parent in Berlin put it bluntly, it's the peace of mind. In many of these destinations, the concept of a 5-year-old doing an active shooter drill in kindergarten is non-existent. When safety and healthcare become luxury goods in the States, moving abroad stops being a whim and starts being a strategic family decision. There is a fascinating, if somewhat tragic, irony here. For generations, the US has watched people from developing nations run the math of migration, calculating the risk of leaving home for a better system. Now, Americans are running that same calculation. In Mexico, nursing homes are springing up specifically to serve elderly Americans who simply cannot afford the 5-figure monthly costs of care back home. We're seeing insurance analysts from places like Buffalo, New York moving to Albania because they can't survive on an $80,000 salary at home, but can live with dignity on $1,000 a month abroad. This is the immigration math, applied to the world's wealthiest nation. People are looking at the price of American life, the healthcare premiums, the property taxes, the safety concerns, and they are realizing the math no longer adds up. When Gallup asked Americans in 2008 if they wanted to leave, 1 in 10 said yes. Last year though, that number doubled to 1 in 5. Among women aged 15 to 44, that number is a shocking 40%. That is a higher desire to migrate than almost any other region on the planet. But we have to look at the other side of the coin. The Wall Street Journal reports the movement, but the sociological impact on the destination countries is the part we often ignore. The Americans flooding into Lisbon, Mexico City, and Bali are inadvertently exporting the very problems they are fleeing. They earn in dollars, spend in local currency, and drive up real estate prices. In parts of Portugal, housing costs have doubled because of the American influx. There is an uncomfortable question every expat has to face. Are you a contributor to your new country or just a consumer of its lower prices? Moving abroad isn't a vacation, it's a fundamental reorientation of identity. In most of these countries, the path to citizenship is nearly impossible. You will always be a guest. You trade the frustrations of your home country for a new set of frustrations, a language barrier, different bureaucracy, and the permanent status of an outsider. The journal has documented a historic shift. The American dream used to be about what you could build in America. In 2026 though, for millions of people, the dream is about what you can build with your American resources somewhere else. The numbers are going up, not down. More families, more permanence, and more renounced citizenships. This isn't just a trend. It's a structural change in how Americans view their place in the world. If you are one of the 40% thinking about leaving, the question just isn't about the cost of an apartment in Lisbon. It's about whether you're willing to live in a place that wasn't designed for you, and whether you're willing to be more than just a consumer of a cheaper lifestyle. The world is getting smaller, but the distance between leaving and belonging is as wide as it's ever been. What do you think? Is the US losing its competitive edge as a home, or is this just a temporary rebalancing? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.